I tried a Pokémon Fire Red Randomizer Nuzlocke. In case you don't know, Randomizer means all Pokémon and items are randomized. Nuzlocke means if one of my Pokémon faints, it's considered dead and I cannot use it anymore. I also can only catch the first Pokémon I encounter on every route. For my starter Pokémon I got to pick between a Metapod, a Trapinch and an Exploud. I picked the strongest and my favorite out of these, which is Exploud, and I named her Excuse Me. It was time for the first battle against my biggest rival, RNG. Excuse Me easily beat RNG's Trapinch by causing an uproar.
Excuse me!
What? Unbelievable. I picked the wrong Pokémon.
Yeah, you should have picked the Metapod, man. After getting Pokeballs I could get my first encounter on Route 1, which was a Clefable. But because it almost killed my Exploud and I was running out of balls, I sadly had to run. To rub some extra salt in my wounds, the game then showed me the catching tutorial, in which the old man got intimidated by a randomized Standler. In Viridian Forest I did catch a Pokémon, a Venonat, and I named her Furbeast. In Viridian Forest I also had to fight a very strong trainer, which had a Suicune and even more scary, a Hariyama. After a very long battle, Furbeast luckily managed to slay the Hariyama to save the day. When I got to Pewter City, I had made some money and I could buy some more Pokeballs, so I could finally get my Route 2 encounter, which was a Vibrava, the evolved form of Trapinch, which was one of my starter choices. I caught it and named him Carnolty. I also went back to Route 22 and I got a Metang as my encounter. I lowered its HP, but then my fingers let me down and I accidentally ran away.
What have I done?
Anyway, time for my first gym battle against Caesar Salad.
My name is Caesar Salad,
who had a Camerupt and a Slackoth. Excuse Me created an uproar and killed them both.
I need attention!
Brock gave me the Boulder Badge and the randomized TM, Thunderbolt, which I taught to Carnolty, the Thunderbolting Dragonfly. Then it was time for some more encounters. On Route 3 I caught a Machop and named her Jim Jim. I bought a Magikarp which was randomized into an Absol, which I named Sap. And in Mount Moon I caught a Krabby and named her Rave Wave. So now I had a full team of 6 Pokémon, which I will take to the end without any casualties. We're fine. Fine. After getting through Mount Moon with no trouble at all, I got my Route 4 encounter, which was a Feraligatr, which I named Gator Ellie. Up next was a fight against my rival RNG, which was easy because he did not have a strong team. On Route 24 my encounter was a Venusaur, which did not want to stay in the ball and then I accidentally killed it. My Route 25 encounter did stay in the ball. A Shroomish I named Minion. Continuing Route 25, this happened.
The Venonat that saved us all made the giant Hariyama fall. Soft fur, so gentle in the night. Now you're gone, lost from our side. By Furbeast, by Fur.
Okay, that's more than enough. Minion the Shroomish joined the team to replace Furbeast.
I'm a cool guy. I've got a girlfriend.
Well, I'm also cool. I own horses for PlayStation 2. Horses with a Z. Anyway, let's continue Route 25. After finally beating all the trainers on Route 25, I saved Bill and went to fight Anchovy.
Well, my name is Anchovy.
Carnolty easily took care of the Typhlosion and the Ampharos, so I got my second gym badge. On my way to the third gym I caught a Kabuto, which I named Bowser, and the Golem I named Smeagol. Then I killed every Pokémon on the SSN, during which...
that light, it's evolving.
The fight against RNG was way too easy again, and then I could fight Lieutenant Surge.
Okay, baby!
which started off great. Excuse Me easily cleaned the rest of Surge's team. To replace Rave Wave, Gator Ellie joined the team. Why does his ass look like that? In Rock Tunnel, that ass almost died to a Zubat. And then he did actually die. I needed a Pokémon that could handle all these kamikaze Pokémon I was encountering. And on Route 8 I did. My encounter was an Aggron. I caught it and I named him Iron Nick. And he instantly came in clutch against the Registeel. I also added Smeagol the Golem to the team, because Absol is a disaster and does not get any good moves. So my team was looking pretty strong, except that it was very unbalanced, with 2 fighting types, 2 ground types and most of them being weak to fighting types. In the Pokémon Tower it was time to fight RNG again, which wouldn't be as easy as before. This Mr. Mime would have killed my Smeagol if I didn't switch, and then he almost killed Carnolty, who keeps almost dying. He also had a Wobbuffet, which is probably the most scary Pokémon to encounter in a Nuzlocke. For the first turn I used a special move, Bubble Beam, and Wobbuffet used counter, so it didn't hit me back for double damage, but on the second turn it used Mirror Coat. Luckily Excuse Me survived and lived to scream another day. On to the 4th gym with gym leader Erica.
My name's Erica, the gym leader.
In this gym, Smeagol wanted to learn self-destruct.
No, I don't think I will.
The gym fight itself started off against the Weezing, which used self-destruct. Luckily, that does not bother Iron Nick. Erica's other Pokémon were very weak, so I got my 4th gym badge. Afterwards, Team Rocket was up to no good again, so I went to their hideout, where I slayed all their Pokémon, and I also found a TM.
No.
Back to the Pokémon Tower, where I had some interesting conversations. Honestly, these lyrics would probably make for a good song. After killing the ghost in the tower, which turned out to be a Marowak, I got the Pokeflute. It was time for some more encounters. In the Pokémon Tower I had caught a Nidoking, which I named Joffrey. On Route 16 I found another Metang. This time my fingers didn't betray me and I did throw Pokeballs at it. I named it Tango. Furthermore I caught an Amistar, SpongeBob.
No, this is Patrick.
Patrick joined the team instead of Jim, which had not been doing anything. Then I accidentally walked into a double battle, which are very scary. They had a Sunflora and a very scary Machamp, which is strong against almost my whole team. But the most scary part was that they both attacked Carnolty on the same turn. Fortunately, Carnolty survived again. I felt a bit overleveled, so I decided to skip most trainers and go directly to the 5th gym. That was a mistake. Luckily, Excuse Me was high enough level to beat his ass, so I needed to do some grinding. While grinding I had to kill another Wobbuffet, which went surprisingly well. Then I fought a Heracross, a fighting type. No one could really deal with it, but I figured Iron Nick is known for his high defense, so he should be able to win.
It's a critical hit.
Well, isn't that ironic? I caught a Poliwrath, I named her Polly, added her to the team, then Polly almost died. After all those troubles, my team was finally ready to face Koga.
I am Koga, the Pokémon Master of the Fuchsia Gym.
He started with a Wailord, which was no match for Minion. Next up was a Nidoking, which was a harder battle for Minion, but he managed. Then came his ace, a level 43 Nidoqueen. After a very long fight, Minion managed to kill it by using Lead Sheet, which slowly took down the Nidoqueen's HP. I was already celebrating my win when Koga sent out another Pokémon. Koga is the first gym leader with more than 3 Pokémon and I did not remember this. And he sent out a Metagross, which is very strong. I switched to Carnolty.
No, this is Patrick.
No, excuse me.
No, this is Patrick. Patrick!
Yeah, so I switched to Patrick. Patrick had the biggest chance to survive a Psychic from the Metagross, and he did, but it did over half his HP, so I only had one choice. Healing till the Metagross ran out of Psychics, otherwise I would lose the run. When the Metagross ran out of Psychics, I could finally attack and kill it, and I had gotten my hard-earned 5th gym badge. Gym number 6 is locked until you fight Team Rocket in the Silph Co building, but first I went to the dojo next to the gym, where I could get a free Pokémon. But before that I had to fight some nurses. Nurse Daniel had a Deoxys. I decided to switch from Carnolty to Patrick, but then it used Pursuit.
It's a critical hit.
Carnolty, the thunderbolting dragonfly, came close to dying so many times. But this time it was for realsies. But the fight wasn't over yet. Whew, close one. Tango the Metagross was added to the team. But it was low level, so I had to do some grinding first. The next nurse had a Rayquaza. Smeagol managed to take care of it after getting hit pretty hard. Next nurse in the dojo, an Entei. Of course, what is this dojo? Last nurse had a Hariyama. But with Tango I had finally a Pokémon that could deal with strong fighting types. And the nurse's last Pokémon was a Registeel? After slaying it, I could finally get my free Pokémon, which was a choice between a Hypno and a Tailo. I chose the Tailo and named him Chug. You better be worth all this trouble. And I added him to the team instead of Polly, who had not done anything so far. After doing some more grinding, I entered Silph Co, and guess who was there as well? RNG. His first Pokémon was a Mew. It used Metronome, which got turned into an Ancient Power. Ancient Power has a 10% chance to increase all the user's stats, and it did. Luckily the Mew used Transform, and it turned into a Golem, which I could kill with Minion. His second Pokémon was a Dodrio, which I could easily kill with Patrick. Then came his starter, Flygon, also easily got killed by Patrick. And his last two Pokémon were a Huntail and an Unknown, which were no problem for Tango, which then evolved. The time had come to fight Giovanni again, or as he likes to call himself, Cool Trainer Kate. First up a Dugong, or should I say Dugon. Then a Tentacruel, an Absol, and a Ditto. All no problem. I got the Master Ball and I could go into gym number 6 with gym leader Sabrina. Tango and Patrick easily swept her team. The hardest part of this gym was actually getting out of it. When I arrived on Cinnabar Island, I revived my Helix fossil into a Blaziken.
It is fossil of Blaziken, a Pokémon that is already extinct.
Which I named Extinct. Gym number 7 with gym leader Blaine.
You get it? I wear a wig because I'm really Blaine, the gym master.
Tango took care of the Seeking and the Forretress. Patrick took care of the Sharpedo with a Zap Cannon. And with 2 Surfs, Patrick slayed the Porygon and the 7th gym badge was mine. Blaine then gave me a TM.
Self-destruct is the ultimate technique.
Nice try, Blaine. What a sad loser. Then comes the part I always forget exists. A side quest to help Bill on some islands. I think Game Freak also forgot about this part if you look at the name of the islands. 1 island, 2 island and 3 island. On one of these islands I had to fight a biker gang. First biker on this island had a Groudon, which instantly used Bulk Up, increasing its attack and defense. Then it hit Minion with a slash while Minion missed his lead sheet. The Groudon then used Ancient Power and got the 10% chance of boosting all its stats. Minion finally hit the lead sheet, so it would die very slowly. I then decided to heal and the Groudon used Ancient Power again and it got a 10% chance all stats boost again. And even though it could probably one-shot my whole team, the Groudon went for another Bulk Up. Minion hit the Groudon with a Sky Uppercut, but because of all the stat boosts, it almost didn't do any damage. All hope seemed lost. I was gonna lose at least half my team. But then...
It's a critical hit.
I had insane luck. Minion got to move first because he is holding a Quick Claw, which has a 20% chance of triggering. Then I hit the Sky Uppercut, which has a 90% chance accuracy. And the Sky Uppercut critted, so it does double damage and it ignores all stats boost. The odds of getting a critical hit are 6.25% chance. Adding the odds together, a 1.1% chance of killing the Groudon before it could attack me. I was so lucky. The Groudon probably would have killed most of my team. But there were more bikers to fight. One had a Rayquaza which used Ancient Power, and of course it got the 10% chance stats boost again. Smeagol tried to hit it with a Rock Blast, but it got the 10% chance miss. And on the next turn, Smeagol fell. I sent in Tango. Rayquaza used Ancient Power again and got the stats boost again. Luckily Tango didn't get critted and managed to kill the Rayquaza. To replace Smeagol, Extinct the Blaziken was added to the team. Continuing my island adventures, I caught a Slugma which I named Balls. I caught a Snorlax with a Master Ball which I named Nom Nom Nom. And I saved a child from a very scary Pokémon, a Squirtle, and I named him Horror. I then decided to go to the 8th gym, where I did some switch training to level the only living Blaziken in the Pokémon universe. Wait a minute.
A Pokémon that is already extinct.
Time for the last gym and last fight against Giovanni. Tango easily Metal Clawed the Gardevoir, Psychicked the Cloyster, Pursuited the Starmie, Psychicked the Pelipper, and also Psychicked the Venusaur. Easy. I had gotten all 8 gym badges. But before I could go to Victory Road, I first had to fight RNG again.
Then I'll whip you, as a warm-up for the Pokémon League.
He was all talk and easily defeated. On to Victory Road, where I came across a Grovyle. Did you know Grovyle is my favorite Pokémon? What's your favorite Pokémon? Let me know what your favorite Pokémon is. Excuse me?
Within the sound of silence.
Nom Nom Nom, the Snorlax joined the team. But first, more grinding.
Isn't grinding the best part in games? I love grinding, it's so much fun.
Haha, close one.
Who doesn't love grinding? Isn't grinding the best part in games?
Back to Victory Road, where I had to fight an Exploud. Are you serious? Holy shish kebab. But after all these troubles, I had made it to the end of Victory Road, and I was at the Elite Four. But before I could face them, more grinding.
I love grinding, it's so much fun. Who doesn't love grinding?
We're fine. We're fine.
Who doesn't love grinding?
Everyone had made it. Nom 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 the Snorlax, Minion the Breloom, Chuck the Swallow, Tango the Metagross, Extinct the Blaziken, and Patrick the Omastar. Before we fight the Elite Four, one moment of silence to respect the fallen.
Okay, let's go.
First Elite Four member, Lorelei. Easy, her whole team was weak against my bulked up Blaziken. Next, Bruno. His first Pokemon was a Camerupt. I switched out Extinct for Patrick, which took a lot of damage, but he could one-hit the Camerupt with Surf. Parasect was no match for Extinct. Tango took care of the Medicham, Nom 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 sat on the Magmar, and the Politoed killed itself with Parishon. He died doing what he loved. Third Elite Four member, Agatha. Extinct kicked the Furret. Minion had some trouble with a level 58 Marowak, but got the job done. Tango clawed the Espeon, the Sceptile, and then cut the Apom. So on to the last member of the Elite Four, Lance. Lance led with a Kingdra, which Nom 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 took care of. He then had a Groudon. A huge problem for my team. Everyone except Nom 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 will die in one hit by either its Earthquake or its Fire Blast. But Nom 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 was already half dead, so I had to sacrifice someone. I chose to sacrifice Chug. Chug hadn't done anything yet and is immune to Earthquake, so he would probably dodge the first attack if it went for Earthquake, which it did. My plan was to just hit it hard with a double edge, in the hope that someone else could finish off the Groudon, but a double edge was not a lot of damage. However, Fire Blast has a 15% chance of missing, which it miraculously did. But the situation hadn't really changed. Chug was still gonna die to the next hit. I went for another double edge to lower the Groudon's HP, and it used Fire Blast again. And it missed again? Chug could then kill the Groudon with one last double edge, and the Groudon died. Chug had single-handedly killed the Groudon. A 2.25% chance of dodging twice in a row. All the training in the legendary dojo had paid off. Lance then had a Golduck and an Illumise, both no problem for Tango, and Lance's ace was a Swallow, which didn't dodge Tango's Blizzard. Only the champion left. RNG had been on my side the last fight, but now I had to fight RNG. His first Pokemon was an Azumarill. Easy, I thought. Switched in minion, hit the lead sheet while it used Rain Dance, then it used Hydro Pump.
It's a critical hit.
Nom 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 was able to avenge minion by sitting on the Azumarill. He then sent out a Hitmontop. Tango got it low with the Psychic, but then it used Endeavor, which copy-pasted the HP to the opponent. Tango was low, but did kill the Hitmontop that turn. His third Pokemon was a level 61 Primeape. I healed up Tango, while the Primeape used Cross Chop. Then it used Cross Chop again.
It's a critical hit.
I figured no one alive would be able to live a hit from this thing. All my hope was rested on Chuck, which maybe could outspeed it and do big damage. And Chuck did a good amount of damage. But could he live a hit? And the Primeape went for Screech. RNG then decided to heal, while Chuck used Aerial Ace, which did over half. So next turn, Chuck killed it. Chuck had done it again. RNG's fourth Pokemon was his starter, Flygon. Nom 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 took it down with a Body Slam. 2 more Pokemon left. Next up a Beautifly, an easy prey for Extinct. And lastly, another Azumarill. Nom 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 had an epic fight. But in the end, it was enough.